We were discussing least square approximation last time. This is concerning fitting a straight line to some data points. So suppose we have large number of data points, xi, yi, and we have collected them from some experiment. Yeah, you have seen graphs of many things. The graphs in the plane, they are fitting some data points. The graph could be straight line, it could be exponential curve, like you have seen in for COVID number of patients, the graphs seem to be exponential. Yeah, but in many experiments, the data points lie on a straight line. And the problem is to find out the best straight line which fits the data. Okay, so so suppose there is a linear function yx equal to s plus yx equal to s plus tx, and this may satisfy the equation of a straight line. Yeah, yxi equal to yi for every I. Then we say that this line fits the data accurately. But in experiments, we have large number of data and there are errors in measurement, and therefore we don't expect this perfect situation. Yeah, so some of the data points may not be on this straight line. Okay, yeah, so that is due to experimental error, and in practice points will deviate somewhat from a straight line. So it is impossible to find a linear y-axis which passes through all of them. So we seek a line that fits the data well, in the sense that the errors are made as small as possible. Okay, yeah. So natural question is, how do we define the error? We have to agree on a definition of error, and once we agree on definition of error, then we want to minimize that error. And in calculus, you have studied how to minimize nice functions or find maximum value of certain functions. You studied Lagrange multiplier method. You knew the second derivative and first derivative test to maximize or minimize functions. And the same principles are available here, but we would approach this without calculus using the techniques of inner product spaces, projection of vectors, etc. So, let us consider the following system of linear equations. The known data is xi, yi. This is the data collected from experiment, and we want to fit a straight line to this data. So suppose that s and t are the parameters in the straight line, and they fit all the data. Then s plus x1t equal to y1, etc. So all these equations will be satisfied. Yeah, and the number of data is much larger than 2. When we conduct experiment, we conduct many experiments to get the data. So n is much bigger than 2. Okay. If we find s and t to satisfy all these equations, we have solved the problem. Otherwise, we want to minimize the error from the experimental data and the data which is predicted by the straight line fit. So given s and t, yeah, these are the parameters of a straight line that we want to fit in the data. The error in the ith equation is absolute value of yi minus s minus xit. So this is the value which is predicted by the straight line. If the input is xi, the straight line will give me some output, which is the y coordinate of the xi x coordinate, and yi is the experimental value. S plus xit is the value which is predicted by the straight line. So we take the difference and take the absolute value. Okay, so this is the error in the ith equation. Now we want to combine the errors. Yeah, we want to combine all the errors, and we need to minimize the sum of all the errors. Okay, so there are many ways of computing the error. So this is one way. that you square the error. Yeah, yi minus s minus xi is the error. You square the error and add up all the squares of the errors and take the square root. Okay. So we want to then minimize this number. Okay. So since sum of squares are involved, this is called the least square approximation, because we are trying to minimize the squares of the errors. Another way to measure the error in all the data points is take the sum of the errors. Simply take the sum of the errors, don't square. Or we could take the maximum error in each of the data. Okay, so there are all these are standard methods of computing the error, but in practice, in many situations, it is the least square error which is found to be the best. Okay, so there is a theory for each type of error, but we will look at only this. Okay, so the problem is to find the parameters of a straight line which we are trying to fit in the data, and we want to minimize this function. Minimize the square root of sum of squares of the errors. So that's why it is called least square approximation. Yeah, we are minimizing the squares of the sum of squares of the error. The unknown quantities are s and t. What is that straight line s plus tx, so that this function is minimized? This is a function of two variables s and t. Minimizing the square root is same as minimizing the quantity which is sum of the squares. Okay, so this is a quadratic polynomial in s and t. Okay, and it's a two variable function, and we want to yi, xi are known quantities, and in calculus you know how to minimize function of two variables. Yeah, there is a second derivative test involving the partial derivatives. The partial derivative with respect to s and t have to be 0, and then we go to the Hessian matrix and check whether it is a minimum point or point of maxima. Yeah, so but we want to approach this problem through linear algebra, through matrix analysis. Okay, yeah, so you could use calculus and find out s and t. Okay, but I want to illustrate the power of linear algebra to do this. So let us formulate this problem in the linear algebra language. Okay, so the xi's are the x coordinates of the data points. Let us construct a matrix A whose first column is consisting of ones, and the second column is consisting of the experimentally found xi's. Xi's are the inputs. Okay, we are conducting certain experiments and we are inputting xi's and finding the output value yi. Okay, and xi's are forming the second column of this matrix. Then yi's are the outputs. Let us put them into a column vector, call this as vector b. Okay, so I have constructed the matrix A where the known xi's are going into the second column, and the outputs in the experiment are yi's. They form the column B, and the unknown quantities are s and t. These are the parameters of the equation of straight line that we want to fit to the data. Okay, yeah. So you can multiply A with x and see that it is s plus tx1, s plus tx2, s plus txn. Okay, and we would like s plus tx1 to be y1, s plus tx2 to y2, etc., etc. Yeah, but it may not be equal to b. Ax may not be equal to b. Yeah, Ax is not equal to b in general, because the data points may not fit the straight line. Any straight line, in fact, no straight line may pass through all the data points. So Ax is not equal to b. For any choice of s and t, it can happen. So what is our best bet? We look for an x so that Ax minus b is minimized. The length of Ax minus b, Ax is a vector, b is a vector. and we want to find an x so that ax minus b, the norm of ax minus b, is smallest possible. And this is the least square error. B minus ax norm is the least square error. Okay, yeah. So find an x so that ax is the best approximation to b in the column space, and this we have discussed before, that the this is ax is a vector in the column space of A, okay, and b is a given vector in the n-dimensional space, okay. So we have seen that this error is minimized exactly when we take ax to be the projection of B in the column space. Yeah, find an x so that ax is the best approximation to B, and that is in the column space of A. And this is possible if B minus ax is perpendicular to the column space of A. Okay. Yeah. So we take the orthogonal projection of B in the column space, and suppose that is ax, then B minus ax will be perpendicular to the column space. Yeah, this is precisely this problem. Minimizing the error means B minus ax should belong to the perpendicular space of ax. CA is the column space. Okay, CA is the column space. AX is in the column space, but we want to minimize the error. So B minus AX must be perpendicular to the column space. But B minus AX is perpendicular to column space means B minus AX is perpendicular to every column. So if I take the transpose of the matrix, then the row vectors of A transpose are precisely column vectors of A. And to say that the column vectors are perpendicular to B minus AX means the A transpose times B minus AX is 0. Yeah. So how do we take A transpose times B minus AX? Simply look at the first row of A transpose and take the dot product with B minus AX. That will give you the first component of A transpose times B minus AX. Then you look at the second row of A transpose, which is the second column of A, and take the dot product with B minus AX. That should be 0. But this A transpose times B minus AX is precisely A transpose AX equal to A transpose B. Okay, so this is the yeah. So these are the normal equations which you have seen before. A transpose AX equal to A transpose B. So we were actually trying to solve for X so that AX is equal to B. Yeah, we were trying to solve for this, but there may not be any X satisfying this equation. Yeah. So to solve for X means you find the straight line, these parameters, so that AX equal to B. But in practice, AX will never be equal to B. So our best bet is to find an X so that AX minus B norm is smallest. And this happens if we take the projection of B into the column space of A. Okay, this is a projection of B in the column space of A, so it is of the form AX. So that is so we solve for this, and solving for this is same as solving for A transpose AX equal to A transpose B. So the original equation, we just multiply by A transpose on both the sides and solve for X. Solve for X. Okay, this is the best X. This is the best X for AX equal to B. So we are not solving for X equal to B because there is no solution. In practice, there is no solution of AX equal to B. So our best bet is to find a solution, find a column vector, find a vector in the column space. Vectors in column space are of the form AX. Find that X so that AX minus B norm is smallest. And we have seen before that this is the case if and only if I take AX to be the orthogonal projection of B in the column space. And that amounts to solving the normal equations. A transpose AX equal to A transpose B. So this is the equation we want to solve, but we can't solve. So multiply by A transpose and then solve. You have found the best solution. And these are called the normal equations. Okay, very, very important idea in data science. This is only the straight line that we are going to fit, but this principle actually applies to many situations. Okay, so I will illustrate that. All right, so let us take an example. Yeah, let's take an example. Find S and T so that the straight line y equal to S plus Tx best fits the following data in the least square sense. So this is the data. When x is -1, y is 1. Okay. When x is 1, y is 1. When x is 2, y equal to 2. So I conducted an experiment. Okay, x is some quantity and y is the output. Okay. Yeah. So I have these 3 points. I have these 3 points, namely 2, 3, and 1, 1, and -1, 1. Okay. And I want to find the best line that fits the data. So -1, -1, comma 1, and 1, 1, 1, 1 is here, and 2, 3. 2, 3 is somewhere here. So these are the 3 points. And I want to find a line. I want to find a line so that the errors are minimized. Okay, the errors are minimized. So yi minus s minus ti xi. Okay, txi. Just a minute. Yeah. This is the error. Okay, this is the error. This is the y coordinate which is predicted. Okay, and I take the difference. So I am taking this difference. If the second point, the actual coordinate is yi. Okay, this is the y2. If this is the second point, this is the first point, this is the third point. This is the y coordinate of this point is y2, and x coordinate x2 is this. So when I substitute into the equation of the line, I get this as the y coordinate. So s plus tx2 is this point, and y2 is this point. So I take this difference. I take this difference. Then I take this difference. Okay. So if this is the best straight line which is fitting the data, then I will square these errors, take their sum, and try to minimize those. That is the least square approximation if you want to fit a straight line. Okay. Yeah. So and the theory is predicting there is a unique straight line which will minimize the errors. Okay. There is a unique straight line which will minimize the errors. Okay. So how do we do that? Yeah. So the principle is that the B vector, okay, B vector is consisting of the outputs. This is consisting of the outputs. Okay. This is the outputs, y equal to 1, y equal to 1, y equal to 3. These are the outputs of the experiment, and these are the inputs. Okay, you form this matrix A, the matrix B, and the B, and then the normal equations. The normal equations are A transpose AX equal to A transpose B. AX equal to B was the original equation. You just multiply on the left by A transpose. I get the normal equations for that least square problem. So A transpose A, you can find out it is this matrix, and then we have to find A transpose B. Okay, this is the A transpose B. Okay, and then these are the normal equations. This matrix is A transpose A, and this matrix is A transpose B. This is a nice system of simultaneous linear equations. There is a unique solution here. S equal to 9/7 and T equal to 4/7. So this gives me the parameters of the straight line. So the straight line which best fits the data is this. It is passing, the slope of the line is 4/7. Okay. Yeah, so this is a straight line which best fits the data. Principle is the same. You can have 1 million data points. You will still make the same matrix A. The number of rows is number of experiments in the matrix A. Yeah, so you can, the same principle applies if you deal with large data points. So the problem of computing the best fit is transferred to the problem of solving another system of linear equations, which are the normal equations for the least square problem, A transpose AX equal to A transpose B. Okay, yeah. Now, it may happen that the data points, they don't lie. Visually, if you look at the data points, you can tell that it is not really clustering around a straight line. Maybe it is along a parabola, or it is along a graph of an exponential function, or there is a logarithmic decay. Okay, if you do experiments in radioactive decay and collect the radioactivity at different times, you see there is a logarithmic decay of radioactivity. Yeah, so there are different laws for different physical situations, and the data fitting is very important to discover the natural laws. Yeah, yeah. So in old times, people made experiments. They collected data over a long period of time, and then they predicted the orbits of planets. Yeah, and the orbits of planets turned out to be elliptic, and then Newton explained why the orbit is elliptic. But first, some experiments had to be conducted, some data fitting had to be done. So there is a lot of experiments and mathematics which goes behind before people discover the natural laws. Yeah, it happens over a long period of time. So here, a straight line may not fit. Then we try polynomials of higher degree. So suppose we want to fit a mth degree polynomial with this some data. Yeah, if straight line didn't really give me a good approximation of the data, I can go for a quadratic equation or a cubic equation and so on and so forth. So we can at once devise the theory to fit a mth graph of an mth degree polynomial, yx equal to s0 plus s1x plus s2x square plus sm xm. Okay, yeah. So how do we do that? The principle is the same. So these are the data points xi, yi. Okay, so input will be here, and this mth degree polynomial will give me some output. The actual output is yi. So I try to minimize yi minus yxi. Okay, yi minus xi in least square sense, right? So the unknown quantities are s0, s1, s2, sm. Like for straight line, we had two unknown parameters, and by solving the normal equations, we found the parameters. Okay, and now if you want to fit mth degree polynomial, then we have m plus 1 unknown quantities, s0, s1, s2, sm, and we want to find them using normal equations. So for straight line fit, this was the matrix. Yeah, that was the matrix, because we are trying to find a linear equation. But now we want to find an mth degree polynomial which fits the data, and so we add the squares and we add xn to the power m. So this is a there are m plus 1 columns and there are n observations, n rows. So n by m plus 1 matrix. So m denotes the number, m plus 1 denotes the number of unknown, the coefficients of that polynomial. N is the number of experiments, which is the number of rows. So this is simply copied from the corresponding situation for straight line fitting. In the straight line fitting, our matrix was n by 2, but now it is n by m plus 1. Okay, yeah. And B vector is the same. It is consisting of the output of the experiment. And x vector is the unknown quantities. Unknown quantities are s0, s1, s2, sm. So make a column vector of these things. Yeah. Then the so then you have this this equation ax equal to b but there may not be any x which satisfies this condition. So we pass to normal equations, multiply by A transpose on both the sides. Okay, and then solve for x. Okay, this linear system of equations can be solved by many methods. We have understood Gauss elimination method. This will always have a solution. The normal equations always have a solution. This I have proved last time. There is always a solution. Okay, and if the column vectors of A are linearly independent, there is a unique solution, because I proved that the rank of a matrix A is equal to rank of A transpose A. It is also equal to rank of A transpose. So if column vectors of A are linearly independent, then A transpose A is going to be invertible, because it is M by M matrix whose column vectors are linearly independent. So it is invertible matrix, and I can just multiply by the inverse of A transpose A. This is exactly what happened in the linear equation case. Okay, so we solve these linear normal equations, find an x, and that will give me this vector, and that vector will give me this polynomial which best fits the data. Okay, so this is the modeling problem. I have some experimental data, inputs and outputs, and I have large number of data points, and I can find out by varying the degree of y-axis from linear to quadratic to cubic. I can find out which is the best fit. Okay,